To you from Black Fact headquarters with this evening's story. Tonight, got a special story to relate to you, dear to my heart. This one, actually, you can find out more about something that you probably have been unaware of most of your lives. If you're, and maybe you're aware of it, aware of them now, maybe you're not, but you will be at the end of this story. And that is the tradition of the so-called black cowboys. Now, some people object to the term black cowboys, don't particularly like that whole boy thing, but other people revel in the term. And my good friend, Billy Ray Thunder, is one of those people who revels in the term black cowboy because he is definitely a real life, shown enough, dyed in the wool black cowboy from where? Akron, Ohio. And yes, he's in my book. And I've also made a trading card with him on it as well. And you can even see a video of Billy Ray on the website. You can see it on the website. You can see it right here on you can see it here on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. You're not going to see it on Facebook. I didn't share it to the Facebook, but you can see it on YouTube. And by the way, when we're done, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And if you're looking at this on Facebook, make sure to hit the like button, okay, and become a member of our group, the Center of Pan-African Culture, because we are posting up our videos in there. So tonight, we're going to tell a story of one of these old, this is an OG, okay, or maybe I should say an OC, an original cowboy. And his name is Bill Pickett. Now, when we lived in California, my girls and I, we like to do things that related to the particular cultural activities, the cultural activities of Black people in whatever area we were in. So, and, other cultural activities where we went to Indian, Native American powwows, and we went to the rodeo, went to the Black rodeo at the California State Fairgrounds. And it was the Bill Pickett rodeo. I know because I bought a shirt while I was there, and I still got the shirt. So I even know what year it was, back in about 1999. So, but when I was there, I didn't know any of these Black cowboys personally. But since that time, I have been able to meet some and grow fond of some of these real live Black cowboys. I had no idea there were any that came out of this part of the country, though, out of Akron, Ohio. That I found to be enlightening, definitely enlightening. I learned something for sure about this area of the country. So this one is about bulldogging. Now, some of you got some dogs out there. I know a lot of people like dogs, some real dog lovers around here. And you got your Rottweilers and your Pit Bulls and your, what's those other, the Dobermans and all those kind of dogs, your German Shepherds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, those bulldogs got their name because they were associated with bulls and with cows. Now, I don't know their whole story. I'm not going into their story tonight. The story I'm going to tell is about the first bulldogger. So Bill Pickett invented a whole sport all by himself of bulldogging. And now it's something you see at any rodeo that's worth its salt. You're going to be seeing somebody out there doing some bulldogging. But the way Bill Pickett did it is not the way they do it now. He is, like I said, he's an OC, original cowboy. So let me read the story to you here. The legendary cowboy Bill Pickett invented the rodeo sport of bulldogging. Oh, by the way, I'm coming out of this book again, the African American Book of Values. Excellent book. You can get it from Amazon. Very inexpensive book. So if you want to read more of these stories for yourself, get the book. Excellent book. It's a real good reference. Okay, so he invented this rodeo sport of bulldogging, which involves grabbing a steer by its horns and stunning it into submission by biting the steer's upper lip. So here's a scenario. You're at the rodeo. You got the pen with the fence all around it. You're on the other side of the fence, hopefully. You got a man that gets up on a bull. No, excuse me. He gets on a horse. They let the bull out. When they let the bull out, he has to run out. He has to go out there on his horse, jump off the horse, grab onto the horns of the bull, and then he bites the bull's upper lip. And in Bill Pickett's case, he would let go with both hands and just toss his head, and the bull would go wherever his head went because he's biting that bull's lip. So in 1908, Pickett rode into a Mexico City bull ring to battle a killer bull. A killer. When they say killer, they actually mean that. Okay, this is a serious bull known as Little Beans. The meeting is set to verse, and it shows Pickett's steely resolve. That day, the fierce bull met his match. Now, mind you, these Mexican bulls are born and bred for one thing and one thing only. They're born and bred to be very feisty, very angry, very fierce in the ring with the bullfighter. And the bullfighter usually has a red cape that they wear, and then they take it off, and they use the cape because the bulls are actually colorblind, but they can see red. And so that red stands out. When you put it out there, you put that red cape out there and go, Toro, 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 and the bull comes running, and then at the last second, boom, you move the cape. And you don't stand behind the cape, okay? You always put it out to one side. So the bull just goes by, and, oh, the fans love it. They love that. So here we go with the story of Bill Pickett meeting Little Beans. He chose to wear his crimson shirt, though bulls, they say, see red, and blood is also of that hue when on the sand it's shed. Bill Pickett's blood, they hoped, would flow that crowd that wished him dead. He rode into that angry place, his hat cocked to the right. Mounted on a chestnut steed, swift Spradley his delight. And out to greet them charged the bull. Bill Pickett came to fight. Not fight him like a matador with blood-red cape and sword, but dog him like a longhorn steer, or at least stay aboard the beast for 5 minutes without his getting gored. It was a contest made in hell. Bloodthirst would drink its fill. They knew no cowboy from the north possessed the guts or skill to dominate a fighting bull that had been bred to kill. Into that ring of looming death came bull and man and horse. The bet was set, the clock was wound, no time left for discourse. Just man and beast and bloody fate, too late to show remorse. The crowd was screaming for his death. They raised their voices high, for he had mocked the thing they loved, and so he had to die. For all people have a thing they love, a thing with which their pride, their sense of being who they are, is much identified. Bullfighting was that thing for them who in that bull ring cried, no man could hold a brave bull's horns, no fool for gold and glory could jump onto a brave bull's hump and live to tell the story. The bull rushed forth with lowered head, took aim at Spradley's rear, but the little horse stepped to the side just as the horns came near. So close and yet not close enough for Pickett to adhere. 3 times the raging Little Beans, that was the name they cried, lunged at horse and rider. Each time he was denied. But Pickett could not climb aboard the spotted killer's hide. The cowboy had to make a choice, and yet no choice had he. To get upon the Little Beans, he had to let Spradley be savaged by the cruel horns another way he couldn't see. He had to watch a thing he loved endure that awful fate, to grace that altar with his blood, a sacrifice to hate. With fierce resolve, the killer bull gathered speed and vaulted. Spradley tried to move away, but Pickett held him halted. In the path of the bull's wrath, then Pickett somersaulted upon the hump with his strong hands. Those gore-smeared horns he squeezed. Those needle-sharp and slippery horns his Spradley's blood had greased. He held on as the big bull ran and took him where it pleased. It took him left, it took him right, it slammed him on the walls. It took him east, it took him west, as if he heard the balls of the crowd in the arena with its death to Pickett calls. For he had mocked the thing they loved, and so they'd heard it said. He thumbed his nose at their great sport, and so they wished him dead. No man can grab a brave bull for gold and for his glory. No fool can ride a fighting bull and live to tell the story. Around and around ran bull and man. The cowboy held on fast, and when the bull came to a stop, the arena was aghast. Pickett jumped between the horns and squeezed that neck so vast. The cowboy squeezed with all his strength to take the breath away. He pressed his knees against the nose. The bull began to sway. He rocked him left, he rocked him right. He thought he'd won the day. That little bean, so brave and mean, stood statue still and muzzled, while in the stands the Mexicans looked at each other puzzled. No man could hold a killer bull. They were totally bumfuzzled. No man could choke a brave bull down for money or for glory. No man could mock their bull fighting and live to tell the story. It wasn't Pickett who had bet or scoffed at bull fighting. His boss, of course, had done all that, but it was Pickett in the ring, and it was for Bill Pickett's death that crowd did sing. That dusky demon held his pose, waiting for the clock. Then someone in that angry mob threw and hit him with a rock. Other things came flying, pelting, pounding man and bull. Then came that awful shock. The beer bottle that broke his ribs made Pickett lose his grip, and that was all the bull needed to start another trip around the Sundridge bull ring at a much faster clip. The crowd was yelling for him to shake bull off and gore him, to lift him up and toss him high and let his blood and entrails fly. For he had mocked the thing they loved, and so he had to die. Although Bill Pickett lost his hold, he did not die that day. Cowboys came and matadors and helped him get away. His little horse named Spradley survived his going in fray. One man did hold a brave bull's horns and earned a share of glory. Bill Pickett rode a killer bull and lived to tell the story. And that's Billy Ray Thunder. Billy Ray Thunder, when you hear his story, you go to stay right here on YouTube, clock in, make yourself a subscriber, and then go ahead and read the story or watch the video where where Billy Ray Thunder tells a story about the time he butted heads with a bull. He butted heads with a bull and lived to tell the story. So for 20, 30 years, he rode bucking bulls, and then another 20, he rode bucking broncos. But on that day, when he came head to head with a bull that wasn't named Big Ed, it was almost his last day. But because he had been injured earlier, I'll let you check out the rest of the story for yourself, so you don't have to feel any squirrelier just because I said something earlier. That's right. I'm not going to tell you how that story ends, but check it out. The one thing you know is that he lived. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. He did live. But check out the story, okay? It's a lesson in perseverance and perseverance and duty. Perseverance and duty. Because he was duty bound to ride that bull in spite of anything else that might have happened that day. He had to ride that bull. And that's no bull. And just remember, you never heard this, you never hear these kind of stories in school unless you're in my class. And then you might hear some more that will always last, even though I can tell them really fast. Once you hear one of my stories, they'll last you all the way into the future, even though you would have heard it far in the distant past. So for all you little ones out there in La La Land, all I like to say is please sleep tight, sleep right, and what? Don't let the bed bugs bite. Peace out now. We'll see you next time with a brand new rhyme. Remember to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook, hit that like button and become a member of the group, the Center of Pan-African Culture. We're trying to grow this whole thing here, okay? All right, tell all your friends. Good night.